Back in my childhood days, it was pretty dark. Didn't have my father around, friends. Just started smoking drugs quite early, drinking heavily. Yeah, it wasn't going very well for me, getting in trouble quite a bit with the police.
At the age of 13, I was heavily addicted on marijuana. I was kicked out of college for not caring, being truant, doing drugs at school, and sort of growing up in foster care made me think no one cared, and just gave me a low self-esteem, really.
When stuff sort of started going down with Mum dying, I didn't understand it. It happened so fast. I think it was like 6 months from her being told that she was sick to when she actually died.
I didn't know how to handle it, and I could handle most things in my life, but Bronwyn was going through a real bad patch.
I fully didn't respect myself at all. I didn't care how I talked to my grandparents. Got into a few bad relationships with a couple of guys, and then all the time they were doing drugs, so it was like, oh, here. So, okay.
And the dad was always in the background, and he was a good man, but he always come down and not always see Bronwyn, and she felt a wee bit left out of that. And I felt for her, you know.
Got into my own kind of buzz where I thought, oh, everyone's out to get me, so I'll be out to get everyone else as well.
As soon as I got in my room, put my stuff down, and just straight grabbed the razor blade, and, you know, I'm finishing it.
Some of these things, what these young people deal with, is really disturbing. And I find that they're working out negatively because they're damaged internally. So we wanted to give them a place where they can get a second chance to believe in what they do again, and to start to get back on the right track. So we find that as we listen to their story, actually find out what their home environment is, then from there, we understand them. We take young guys on into our alternative education course, so the people that are moved out of school. And this particular one that came in, his name was Bjorn. And we actually got told very strongly from the local sergeant in town, it's better that he doesn't come on board with us.
It would be fair to say when we first met Bjorn, he presented as a well-balanced young man. He had a big chip on both shoulders. And it was clearly evident early on that we did not have the resources to deal with such a boy, and our advice to Gary was to leave him alone.
I was fueled by rage, anger, and every bone in my body. All I wanted to do was hurt my father. I just wanted to cause pain. I had one mission in life, and I wasn't going to stop until my father rested in a hole. I was heavily involved with gangs and drugs. I was doing robberies. I've done a couple of stabbings when I was young. It was just a hectic life for a 12-year-old. Meeting Gary and all their family, Lindsay and all his family, and seeing how they lived, you know, I was like, man, I want that. They seem happy.
One big factor that's pulling a lot of these guys back is their dads. They're not on the scene. My dad trained, mentored, and guided me through things. They haven't had that, you know. Their kickstart in life has been a really rugged one. And so for us, it's the opportunity to father them, to actually give them those skills.
The police didn't even want to hear my story. They just wanted me out of their town. They didn't even want to bother with the paperwork. Gary, on the other hand, stuck with me for years. If I needed him to be there for me, any time of night, he would drive around to my house. He would come pick me up, just to come talk to me.
I had a person come into my life, and they didn't mind about the crap that I had around me, but they worked alongside me, they forgave me. And I guess that passion of that one person changing my life has inspired something in me that I want to help change these guys' lives.
At Springboard, you're doing more practical work too. And that was more me because, yeah, I'm more of an energetic type. I can't just sit still in a classroom for 6 hours.
Is when we connect with these young guys and get them to believe in themselves again, they want to get out and change the way that their life is going. So we find one of the major success indicators that we really work hard at is getting them into employment. Because if they can go from there, then they can have a whole different way of living. When I see a young person that says, I believe again, a young person, I'm not accepting what happened to me, I'm going to make a change. That to me is success. As a team, we value integrity, being honest with our time and honest with our work with the kids. So if we say we're going to do something, we will do that for them. We won't want to be letting them down. We've got a value of relationship. They are family, that you're important to us.
I hate to think how the last 10 years would have turned out had it not been for Springboard.
When these guys have changed, when they're out there working in the workforce, living a successful life, that's my paycheck.
Recently graduating from Springboard, I was offered a full-time job and now I'm a full-time beekeeper. My mission was to hurt my father. Now my mission is to get to know my father. It's done a complete 180.
Some of those kids had a terrible upbringing. They've done any different because they've never had love in their lives. And yeah, these guys and the team at Springboard have given them hope.